Hi. I knew I was gonna screw up. It's been a while. It's been a while. Anyway, happy 2025. Yes, thanks. I know. I forgot to unmute myself so that when it muted me, that it would unmute me. Oops. What do you do? That's right. That's right. We are Miss Becky. How are you? I sent you a text on your birthday and I thought I maybe I don't have your number anymore. But it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that your new grandson, I believe, is doing well. Not here yet, but soon, and that Miss Poet is doing great as well as the rest of your family. Well, I don't blame you. I would too. Anyway, welcome back, you guys. Thank you for being here. I would apologize for my absence, but sorry, it was kind of needed. And I was really kind of really busy over the holidays with my granddaughter and family and lots of things. Um, so sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, Zach. I have been running low and I need some. So thank you. It's good to see you. Well, Becky, I'm there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and maybe not tomorrow though, because the weather is super crappy. All right. So we are going to change things up this year. That's why you got the different opening. I I was debating back and forth before starting whether to use my old opening or the new opening, and because I want this video, I can't change what I open with after I do that. At least I don't know how. So as you can see, I couldn't even start not muted. So we started with the new opening. I don't know. It was more than 4, but I don't think it was quite 10, Zach. So, but I wasn't expecting 10. It's okay. Last check, I think it was around 6. So I don't know. There might be 10. There might be 10. Honestly, I don't know. I've not been outside. I've opened the door and looked, and that's as far as I've gone. So, anyway, here's the plan for going forward. Um, I'm not going to do the long trial coverage anymore, mostly because of time. And I have my granddaughter every Friday, at least in or January. I don't know from the 31st on. So I could have her Monday. I'll have her Monday or Friday. So I've got plans for the days that I have her. I'll still be streaming, but I will have help. Um, so we are going to start covering some I'm serial unalivers. I have Kelly and Flashfan, Gabby, and Carmen are all helping, and they are all like you saw Carmen stream the other day where she covered the giggling granny. Nanny Doss, I think was her name. A crazy, insane woman who did horrible things to anybody in her life, including unaliving one of her granddaughters who was just an infant. Um, so we are going to start doing that. We are going to cover some mainstream ones as well as what I don't know where my accent comes from sometimes. I apologize. As well as I don't know. Sorry. As well as some lesser known ones like Giggling Granny. Um, and well, I'm not gonna like name them because I want you to tune in and find out. So that is that plan for going forward. On some of those will take 2 days to present. So I will still be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm gonna change the time to noon, and I am planning a shorter stream of going, about an hour so that when other courts go on lunch break, maybe people will pop over here, get their quick, cereal and a liver fix, and then can pop back to whatever trial they're watching. So, that's the plan going forward on that. On the weeks that it doesn't take that like I can do one on Monday and then whoever Carmen's schedule will be when Carmen can do it. So she will not be probably scheduled with me. Like I have Kelly, Gabby, and Flashman all scheduled. Flashman is this Friday. Gabby is the week after, and Kelly is the week after that. Carmen's schedule is up in the air right now, so she'll just do hers whenever she's ready, just like she did Giggling Granny. You'll just see her. So you've been warned. I can't do much more than that for you. When when we have one, so like when I can cover a whole person on Monday, and then Flashman's going to cover somebody on Friday. On Wednesdays, Kelly had a good idea. We're going to call it Way Back Wednesday, and cover some cold cases. So Flashman said he had a lot of people reach out to him after him and I did that first cold case out of Nebraska, which we do need to update everyone on at some point. Don't know that there's a lot going on there right at the moment. So we'll do some cold case coverage of like updates for that one. I don't know what else is on the agenda for that at the moment because I haven't had time to talk to Flashman about it, but we'll get it figured out. And then let's see, I already talked to you about Carmen. So um, I do believe that we will start doing some more evening streams, more just like what Carmen and Gabby and I think Flash Fan did after her Giggling Granny stream where they just got on and just kind of chatted about whatever. That's my plan, just to do those in the evening sometime. It probably won't have a lot of pre-planning to it, so just make sure that your notifications are on and we'll just chat about whatever. So, uh, that'll be that. Because I do enjoy the evening streams and, getting just to talk to you guys about life, just getting to know you and just having fun and not having to worry about court starting or anything else like that. So you can look forward to that. Today, I want to um, start talking about. I gotta bring this up here. Give me 1 second. So I found it, and then I didn't realize that Carmen had actually sent me the same thing. And goodness, I'm so out of practice. Not that you guys couldn't tell. So there is a book out there. I can't read you the title. I have to kind of modify the title here. It's Serial Unaliver. So I'm not even going to put it up on my screen because, things. I disappeared myself. It is from the Behavioral Analyst Unit from the FBI for the National Center for Violent Crimes, for the analysis of violent crimes. I will learn to talk by the end of this stream, I promise. So let me go here. I can read this, and I have changed all the unfriendly YouTube words. I have changed them all. to YouTube friendly words. So, Adair, please do not pick on me for having to do that. And I can't help it. It is what it is. So, this is taken out of a book. This is the foreword from the book. The topic of serial unaliving occupies a unique niche within the criminal justice community. In addition to the significant investigative challenges they bring to law enforcement, serial unaliver cases attract an overabundance of attention from the media, mental health experts, academia, and the general public. While there has been significant independent work conducted by a variety of experts to identify and analyze the many issues related to serial unaliving, there have been few efforts to reach a consensus between law enforcement and other experts regarding this matter. In an effort to bridge the gap between the many views of issues related to serial unaliving, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, hosted a multidisciplinary symposium in San Antonio, Texas. Yeehaw, you guys get everything. On August 29th, 2005 through September 2nd, 2005. The goal of the symposium was to bring together a group of respected experts on, serial unaliving from a variety of fields and specialties to identify commonalities of knowledge regarding serial unaliving. A total of 135 subject matter experts attended the 5-day event. These individuals included law enforcement officials who have successfully investigated and apprehended serial unalivers, mental health, academic, and other experts who have studied serial unalivers and shared their expertise through education and publication. Officers of the court who have judged, prosecuted, and defended serial unalivers, and members of the media who inform and educate the public when serial unalivers strike. The attendees also reflected on the international nature of the serial unaliving problem, as there were attendees from 10 different countries on 5 continents. The agenda encompassed a variety of topics related to serial unaliving, including common myths, definitions, typologies, pathology, causality, probably saying that wrong, forensics, the role of the media, prosecution issues, investigative task force organization, major case management issues. Each day included panel discussions, blah, blah, blah. So this basically is a culmination of the input and discussion of the attendees on the major issues related to serial unaliving. The contents are based upon the notes taken during the presentations, panel discussions, and breakout groups. The goal in publishing this monograph is to outline the consensus from a variety of disciplines on the motivations and characteristics of serial unalivers, which will enable the criminal justice community to generate a more effective response in the identification, investigation, and adjudication of these cases. That's the only thing I'm going to read like that. That's just to give credit to this book and to the people that were there, because I want to start covering the myth about serial unalivers. So I have just abbreviated what they used serial unalivers. If they use serial with a K at the end of it, I just abbreviated that down to SK. I had left serial unaliving when they used serial with an M word after it. Does that make sense? You'll see. I love having to be so careful. It's so fun. So fun. Much of the general public's knowledge concerning serial unaliving is a product of Hollywood productions. Storylines are created to heighten the interest of audiences rather than to accurately portray serial unaliving. By focusing on the atrocities inflicted on victims by deranged offenders, the public is captivated by criminals and their crimes. This only lends more confusion to the true dynamics of a serial unaliver. Thank you, Gabby, for sending a rose. I appreciate it. Yes, you all have to use YouTube-friendly words. All of you. And So that first paragraph, I was thinking one of all the movies, Silence of the Lambs, TV, Criminal Minds. There's tons of them out there that make us think that these serial unalivers are just absolutely everywhere and horrible. Not saying they're not everywhere and they're not horrible, because they are, and we don't hear about them until they're caught. So we never know. We could be living next door to them. That's the scary thing about them. Law enforcement professionals are subject to the same misinformation from a different source. The use of, I can say this word in my mind, but I'm going to butcher it. So, anecdotal information. Professionals involved in a serial unaliving cases, such as investigators, prosecutors, and pathologists, may have limited exposure to serial unaliving. Their experience may be based upon a single unaliving series, and the factors in that case are extrapolated into other serial unalivings. As a result, certain stereotypes and misconceptions take root regarding the nature of serial unaliving and the characteristics of SKs. Yes, everything. This this is only what we're getting ready to go through, Gabby, is not very long. But I got to get this part out because it kind of lays the foundation for what I'm going to do on Wednesday, um, which is kind of talks about this. And then we're going to get into the myths here in just 1 second. A growing trend that compounds the fallacies surrounding serial unaliving is the talking heads phenomenon. Given credibility by the media, these self-proclaimed authorities profess to have expertise in serial unaliving. How many times have we seen those people? They appear frequently on television and in print media and speculate on the motive for the unalivings and the characteristics of the possible offender, without being privy to the facts of the investigation. Unfortunately, inappropriate comments may perpetrate misconceptions concerning serial unaliving and impair law enforcement's investigative efforts. It was decided by a majority of the attendees to issue a formal statement of position regarding the media's use of these types of individuals. This is what we will discuss on Wednesday. The relative rarity of serial unaliving, combined with inaccurate anecdotal information and fictional portrayals of SKs, has resulted in the following common myths and misconceptions regarding serial unaliving. Yep, me too, Adair. And just tell you, it just doesn't apply equally. So I ain't doing it. Yep, absolutely. So I am not doing it. All right. Hopefully I can read this off of here and not have to look over there. Myth number 1. SKs are all dysfunctional loners. That's how they tend to portray some of them, that they live alone, dark rooms, closed off, don't talk to anybody, dark moods all the time, whatever. The majority of SKs are not reclusive, social misfits who live alone. They are not monsters who may not appear strange. Many SKs hide in plain sight within their communities. Serial unalivers often have families and homes, are gainfully employed, and appear to be normal members of the community. Because many serial unalivers can blend in so effortlessly, they are oftentimes overlooked by law enforcement and the public. How many times do you hear? They arrest Jim next door, and you're like, they go to the neighbor, and they just all say, "We never thought Jim would do something like this. Jim was always so nice and so helpful, always there with his family." Like, how many times? Every time. So one of the examples of this is Robert Yates. This one did not ring any bells to me. He unalived 17, did not take this word out, but I think I won't say it, ladies of the night. in Spokane, Washington, in the Spokane, Washington area during the 1990s. He was married with 5 children, lived in a middle-class neighborhood, and was a decorated U.S. Army National Guard helicopter pilot. Scary. During the time period of the unalivings, Yates routinely patronized ladies of the night, and several of his victims knew each other. Yates buried one of his victims in his yard beneath his bedroom window. Gross. That's just so creepy. Yates was eventually arrested and pled guilty to 13 of the unalivings. We are actually going to cover this next one. The Green River unaliver, Gary Ridgway, confessed to unaliving 48 women over a 20-year time period in Seattle, in the Seattle, Washington area. He had been married 3 times and was still married at the time of his arrest. He was employed as a truck painter for 32 years. He attended church regularly, read the Bible at home and at work, and talked about religion with his coworkers. Ridgway also frequently picked up ladies of the night, and had sex with them throughout the time period in which he was unaliving. Oh, Zach. I picked up a hitchhiker. He asked if I was scared he was a serial unaliver. I replied, no. The chances of 2 serial unalivers in the same car is astronomical. Can you imagine if you said that to somebody? Oh, that would be so funny. I mean, like in a movie. I don't want to see it really happen to anybody, but it would be funny in a movie. Myth. SKs are all white males. Wrong again. Contrary to popular belief, SKs span all racial groups. There are white, African American, Hispanic, and Asian SKs. The racial diversification of SKs generally mirrors that of the overall U.S. population. So we have Charles Ng, I think is how you say his last name, a native of Hong Kong. His name sounds familiar, but I can't place him. Native of Hong Kong, China, he unalived numerous victims in Northern California in concert with Robert Lake. I'm trying to are they the people that would pick up people and take them to their house and then torture them in really horrible ways? I can't remember if that was him or not. Dang, Zach, you're just full of them today. There was a serial unaliver who only picked gingers. He was released after the claim that he had never harmed a soul. It's because gingers have no souls. That's the rumor. I can't help it. I didn't make it up. Derek Todd Lee, an African American, unalived at least 6 women in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Coral Eugene Watts, an African American, unalived 5 victims in Michigan, fled the state to avoid detection, and unalived another 12 victims in Texas before being apprehended. Some of these people, they get away for a while. Rafael Resendez Ramirez, a native of Mexico, unalived 9 people in Kentucky, Texas, and Illinois before turning himself in. Rory Condi, a Colombian native, was responsible for 6 ladies of the night homicides in the Miami, Florida area. And the one that we probably all believe the most, that they are all motivated by SMECS. All serial unalivers are not SMECSally based. There are many other motivations for serial unalivers, including anger, thrill, financial gain, and attention seeking. In the Washington, D.C. area serial sniper case, John Allen Muhammad, a former U.S. Staff Army sergeant, and Lee Boyd Malvo unalived primarily for anger and thrill motivations. I do remember this one because they were just like popping people off that were just loading their cars in parking lots. And it was you just did not know where they were going to go next. There was no specific target Yes, Flashman, DC case. But I remember reading about it every day. You would read like somebody else had been hit by them in a parking lot, and they could not figure this out. They were able to terrorize the greater Washington, D.C. metro area for 3 weeks, pew-pewing 13 victims, unalived 10 of them. They communicated with police by leaving notes, and they attempted to extort money to stop the firing of their weapon. Because I typed it, I can't say it. They are suspected in a number of other firing of their weapon in 7 other states. That was news to me. I did not realize that they thought they had committed crimes in other states. Dr. Michael Swango, a former U.S. Marine, what is it with the military? Ambulance worker and physician, was a healthcare employee. He was convicted of only 4 unalivings in New York and Ohio, although he is suspected of having poisoned and unaliving 35 to 50 people throughout the United States and on the continent of Africa. Wow. Swango's motivation for the unalivings was intrinsic and never fully identified. Interestingly, Swango kept a scrapbook filled with newspaper and magazine clippings about natural disasters in which many people were unalived. I'm not familiar with that one. Paul Reed unalived at least 7 people during fast food restaurant robberies in Tennessee. After gaining control of the victims, he either stabulated or pewed them. The motivation for the unalivings was primarily witness elimination. Reed's purpose in committing the robberies was financial gain, and some of the ill-gotten gains were used to purchase a car. Good for him. Obviously, it didn't work. I'm not familiar with him either, and they didn't give a timeline on that one. Myth number whatever we're on. I don't know. Hey, Tash. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. Females make up just shy of 10% of serial unalivers, but female unalivers are more likely to become serial than men. Well, we're crazy, so I agree, Adair. I agree. That they get caught early. Myth number whatever we're on. All SKs travel and operate interstate. Most SKs have very defined geographic areas of operation. They conduct their unalivings within comfort zones that are often defined by an anchor point, e.g., place of residence, employment, or residence of a relative. Serial unalivings will at times spiral their activities outside of their comfort zone. When their confidence has grown through experience or to avoid detection, very few serial unalivers travel interstate to unalive. The few SKs who do travel interstate to unalive fall into few categories. I've been trying to figure out how to say this word all day. Itinerant, individuals who move from place to place, homeless individuals who are transients, individuals whose employment lends itself to interstate or transnational travel, such as truck drivers or those in military service. Sorry, Kelly. She said, wow, if my agoraphobia wasn't at an all-time high before reading this, we've certainly reached peak season. I apologize. Yes, it is scary to think of everything that's out there. The difference between these types of offenders and other serial unalivers is the nature of their traveling lifestyle, which provides them with many zones of comfort in which to operate. And those are the scariest ones. What was the railroad guy that he would jump on the trains and go from town to town, and they could not catch up with him. They did. I can't remember what his name was, but that's scary just to think. Flash fan comes right in there with it. Tommy Lynn Sells. The Boogeyman. Well, yeah. Was that his title? Is that the name the media gave him? I guess it probably freaked me out most because my grandparents on my mom's side and my dad's side, and my grandparents on my dad's mom and dad, their backyard, like as soon as you walked through the fence, there was a railroad track right there. And my mom's parents, there was a highway and then the railroad tracks. So and my grandma had stories about chasing I don't know what the PC word is for them nowadays. She called him a hobo away because she had 2 apple trees in her front yard and he was picking apples. So she pretended to have a dog and yelled at the dog to go sick him. And the guy took off running. I don't know. It was, if you just knew my grandma, she was such a little feisty lady. And it was so funny. Yeah, Zach, they must be like deleting them before I can even see them because I don't see anything. I don't see anything being held. And Gabby and Cheyenne would take care of it. Sorry. He was the coast to coast unaliver because Gabby was joking with the boogeyman. There are 4 types of unalivers: the visionary, the mission oriented, the hedonistic, and the power control oriented. Your name isn't Cheyenne? Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, Carmen. And myth, whatever number we're on, SKs cannot stop unaliving. It has been widely believed. Oh, sorry. I did not realize I said Cheyenne would take care of it. Sorry, Cheyenne. Carmen or Gabby would take care of it. Good grief. Nobody asked you, Hiawatha. Psycho clowns. We haven't got there yet. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Haha. It's Monday. It's been a while since I've done this. You can tell. Heavens, I promise to be better on Wednesday. I don't know where I started. It's been widely believed that once SKs start unaliving, they cannot stop. There are, however, some SKs who stop unaliving altogether before being caught. In these instances, there are events or circumstances in offenders' lives that inhibit them from pursuing more victims. They can include increased participation in family activities, sexual substitution, and other diversions. That is not how that song goes. Splashman, I wasn't. All right. You're not chopped liver, and neither is Kelly. And I know all 4 of you will take care of it. My apologies. BTK unaliver Dennis Rader. Most of us are familiar with this guy. Unalive 10 victims from 1974 to 1991. He did not unalive any other victims prior to being captured in 2005, which is crazy. During interviews conducted by law enforcement, Rader admitted to engaging in autoerotic activities as a substitute for his unalivings. Well, too bad he didn't do that earlier. Cheyenne is the girl who wears cut-off jeans, boots, and a bandana for a shirt. Carmen would be like, all right. Hey, Jess, how you doing? Hope you had a good holiday. This is just going to be a weird conversation today, probably every day. Jeffrey Gorton, not familiar with him either. Unalived his first victim in 1986 and his next victim in 1991. He did not unalive another victim and was captured in 2002. Gorton engaged in cross-dressing, and I had to change this to self-pleasuring activities, as well as consensual sex with his wife in the interim. That is a freaking dad joke, Zach. There was a serial unaliver with a really bad stammer. They say it will be a while before he finishes his sentence. Put Zach in a suitcase. Just leave a finger hole there for him, Puddletown. We don't need another accident. The next myth, all SKs are insane or are evil geniuses. Another myth that exists is that SKs have either a debilitating mental condition or they are extremely clever and intelligent. As a group, SKs suffer from a variety of personalities disorders, including psychopathy, antisocial personality, and others. Most, however, are not adjudicated as insane under the law. The media, gotta love them, has created a number of fictional SK quote unquote geniuses who outsmart law enforcement at every turn. Like other populations, however, SKs range in intelligence from borderline to above average levels. Yes, Jess. Mine were good and very, very busy. Like super busy. Yes, I've heard that Israel Keys has a very high IQ. Not high enough. He got caught. Next myth, SKs want to get caught. Offenders committing a crime for the first time are inexperienced. They gain experience and confidence with each new offense, eventually succeeding with a few mistakes or problems. While most SKs plan their offenses more thoroughly than other criminals, the learning curve is still very steep. Sorry, I just don't want to be part of anybody's learning curve. They must select, target, approach, control, and dispose of their victims. The logistics involved in committing an unaliving and disposing of the body can become very complex, especially when there are multiple sites involved. As SKs continue to offend without being captured, they can become empowered, feeling they will never be identified. As the series continues, the unalivers may begin to take shortcuts when committing their crimes. This often causes the unalivers to take more chances, leading to identification by law enforcement. It is not that SKs want to get caught. They feel like they can't get caught. And then they do, because that's how they mess up. All right, so that was the last of the myth. We've got this thing too. This is their definition of a serial unaliver, I think probably would have been a better way for me to put that. So this is what they all came up with in the symposium that I was reading to you about earlier when they were discussing all of this. In the past 30 years, multiple definitions of serial unaliving have been used by law enforcement, clinicians, academia, and researchers. While these definitions do share several common themes, they differ on specific requirements such as the number of unalivings involved, the type of motivation, and the temporal aspects of the unalivings. To address these discrepancies, attendees at the Serial Unaliving Symposium, can you imagine if they really had to call it that? It'd be amazing. Examined the variations in order to develop a single definition for serial unaliving. Previous definitions of serial unaliving specified a certain number of unalivings, varying from 2 to 10 victims. This quantitative requirement distinguished a serial unaliving from other categories of unaliving, i.e., single, double, or triple unaliving. Most of the definitions also required a period of time between the unaliving. This break in time was necessary to distinguish between a mass unaliving and a serial unaliving. A serial unaliving required a temporal separation between the different unalivings, which were described as separate occasions, cooling off periods, and emotional cooling off periods. Hey, Toy. How you doing this morning? Ever had road rage? Imagine that times 100 or 1,000. That's kind of how I imagine an SK. Yeah. And they do. That's very true, Puddle Down. They get lazy, and then they get caught. Ah, a serial unaliver that always kept a victim's hand as a souvenir was asked why. He replied, it was a risk he was willing to take. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Toy. Happy Monday to you as well. Generally, mass unaliving was described as a number of unalivings, 4 or more, occurring during the same incident, with no distinctive time period between the unalivings. These events typically involved a single location where the unaliver unalived a number of victims in an ongoing incident. There has been at least one attempt to formalize a definition of serial unaliving through legislation. In 1998, a federal law was passed by the United States Congress titled Protection of Children from Sexual Predator Act of 1998. Okay, I will not make comments that I want to make. This includes the definition of SKs. The term SK means a series of 3 or more unalivings, not less than one of which was committed within the United States, having common characteristics such as to suggest the reasonable possibility that the crimes were committed by the same actor or actors. Although the federal law provides a definition of serial unaliving, it is limited in its application. The purpose of this definition was to set forth criteria establishing when the FBI could assist local law enforcement agencies with their investigation of serial unaliving cases. It was not intended to be a generic definition for serial unaliving. The symposium attendees reviewed the previous definition and extensively discussed the pros and cons of the numerous variations. The consensus of the symposium attendees was to create a simple but broad definition designed for use primarily by law enforcement. One topic focused on the determination of the number of unalivings. Carmen, I blame you for me missing those because I was on the phone with her. That constituted a serial unaliving. And researchers were interested in establishing a specific number of unalivings to allow clear inclusion criteria for their research on serial. Why is it number 8 there? I didn't do that. Serial 8 unalivers? I have no idea. However, since the definition was to be utilized by law enforcement, a lower number of victims would allow law enforcement more flexibility in committing resources to potential serial unaliving investigations. Carmen, I missed so many. I would never go out with a man who claims his favorite food is chopped dates. Yes, you will take the blame because I was on the phone with you. I said I had a quick question, and then I got off the phone right before I had to start the stream. I know better. I know better. All right. Because Carmen and I had a discussion about the number that we think should be, well, she told me what number she thinks it should be to make you a serial unaliver. Yeah, and I don't know, Carmen and I were just not able to go through this, so I had to be careful. We're almost done, and then I have a very important topic to discuss with all of you. It is so important, so please don't leave because I have to know your answer. One discussion topic focused on the determination of the number of unalivings that constituted a serial unaliver. I already read that. Okay. Motivation was another central element discussed in various definitions. However, attendees felt motivation did not belong in a general definition as it would make the definition overly complex. The validity of spree unaliving as a separate category was discussed at great length, and the general definition of spree unaliving is 2 or more unalivings committed by an offender or offenders without a cooling off period. According to the definition, the lack of a cooling off period marks the difference between a spree unaliving and a serial unaliving. Central to the discussion was the definitional problems relating to the concept of a cooling off period. Because it creates arbitrary guidelines, the confusion surrounding this concept led the majority of attendees to advocate disregarding the use of spree unaliving as a separate category. The designation does not provide any real benefit for the use by law enforcement. The different discussion groups at the symposium agreed on a number of similar factors to be included in a definition. These include one or more offenders, two or more unalived victims, incidents should be occurring in separate events at different times. The time period between unaliving separates serial unaliving from mass unaliving. In combination, the various ideas put forth at the symposium, the following definition was crafted. So, I guess this is their official definition of serial, would have an M word after it. It'd be the unlawful unaliving of two or more victims by the same offender in separate events. Carmen does not agree with that number. Hey, Kim. Good to see you. Hope you had good holidays. Puddletown. Zach, you're gonna have to put Zach back in the suitcase because he beat you with that joke earlier. Official definition for the public. Sorry, Carmen. I clarified that. Daryl Brooks was a mass unaliver, and he took out 6, so I don't agree either. Yes, he would have been a mass unaliver because it happened. He wasn't a serial unaliver, Flash fan, because that happened all at one time. So that would make it a mass unaliver. I appreciate it. Don't roll your eyes at me. I hope you got good news on the phone, Puddletown. I hope you get that situation cleared up. Is she acting all fetty? It's her haircut, Zach. She always tells me you can identify a Fed by their hair. I can't say she's wrong. I cannot say that she's wrong. All right. So that is all I have on that. So keep all that stuff in mind when we cover our serial unalivers, not our mass unalivers, at least as we know them. Ooh, pulling out the rank. All right, let me get rid of this because I learned something today. Maybe you guys already know this. I think FlashFan will get a kick out of it. Oh, dang, I closed the tab. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. Look, I hope it was good. I hope it's good. Can we do one-off cases? You can do whatever you want, FlashFan. So, I was reading a story this morning about the first baby of 2025 that was born in the hospital in Bloomington, because my town's too little to have news, apparently. And I saw this word. Did you know that since we entered 2025, a new generation has arrived? And they are Gen Beta. No. Although they follow Gen Alpha, which puts my granddaughter, she's an alpha. That's right. So that's okay. But I was like, Gen Beta, what the heck is this? So, Flash fan, were you born like 2010? Are you Gen Alpha? All I could think of is people calling men, which I don't agree with it, like beta males, and it's not nice. But I just was like, Generation Beta. And then did not know that Generation Alpha or Gen Alpha, excuse me, was before that. So this is a Canadian article. Um, so who are Gen Betas? Born to mostly younger millennials, age 31 to 45, and older Gen Zs, age 16 to 30. So I think that is Carmen and Flash Fan, Gabby. Nope, not Gabby. Is that what you're telling me, that Gen Z is 1970 to 2000? Wait, Carmen, you and I can't be the same. Maybe. Gen X. Or not Puddletown. Flashman, are you you're X, you're Gen X? You're in definition a millennial. I don't know what boomers are considered because I am not one. I just act like one. Uh-oh, now we're wait. Gen X goes from 1980 to 1995 is millennial. I don't know. Now I have to look. But yeah, it's because we're old. You're older than generation names. I don't know if this tells me, but they were talking about being born to younger millennials and older Gen Zs, and then that but that millennials became the most populous generation in Canada in July of 2023, and Canada's fertility rate is at a record low. Why does that not surprise me? Sorry, millennials. Let's see. In 1980, Gen X was entering its mid-teens and made up about 22%. If that helps you guys. I can't either. I did not know that Gen Beta started January 1st. I had no idea. You're pre-automobile? Well, you probably missed when I said I was around when silent movies were made. So don't fear the rooster. Do you mean if you're talking about the 80s, we did have the best music in TV. And we were all happy. All right, you guys have me curious. Sorry, I agree with you, Tash. We are the last hardcore generation before helicopter parenting and being friends with your kids. Although I am friends with my kids now that they are adults, but I will mother them when I have to. But they're adults and can make their own choices. Hey, if I grew up in the Al Capone era, I'd be badass. I'm just saying. We were the last America. All right. Good. Jess came through for me. Let me get rid of this. Thanks, Jess. According to Pew, boomers are 46 to 64. 1946 to 1964. I was like, wait, I'm not a boomer. Gen X, 1965 to 80. I'm Gen X. Millennial, 1981 to 1996. Gen Z, 1997 2012. Alpha, 2013 2024. And Gen Beta, 2025. Yep. I had never heard of Gen Alpha either until I read about Gen Beta. It started this year. Go us. We aren't boomers. I kept telling Flashman we were not boomers. Now I have proof. Jess just gave it to me. It's right there. We are Gen X. So take that, Flashman. And I'm glad that Miss Madison was born in 2024 so she can be an alpha. I know you are, Flashman. I'm just messing back. But I don't know. I'm just Jen. Don't make me people. Puddletown. I was born, slapped the doctor, hit the nurses, and asked for a cheeseburger. I think that's what Carmen did too. Watched the moon landing and put up the devil horns. Hello, Gen X, I'm here. Flashman is a Gen Zer. Ah, that's so funny. Carmen's millennial. You're a Gen Pepperoni. I believe it, Flashman. Or sushi. Sushi. No. Well, to 1980, but I grew up in the 80s, so I mean, like I can talk like a valley girl, Adair, if I have to. Okay, gross. You don't Oh, you were bad to the bone. I got it. Carmen, I can't get that. You don't accept this identity. I don't accept the identity of Jen. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, totally. Welcome to the dark side. That is the millennials. Dang, millennials. Well, then your aunt is awesome. So now are we going to be like, dang it, Gen Beta? That doesn't have the same ring as dang it, millennials. Sorry, millennials. I think you will forever be blamed for everything. I didn't say you deserved it all the time because, oh, crap. I shouldn't have done that. I probably just did something really bad. Oh, well. Yeah, this is a. You can tell me I'm boomering anytime you want, Flashman. Well, then her and I are the same because I was also born in 73. I can see it, Kelly. I can see it. Total Valley girl. Whew, I thought I'd killed my Rumble stream. Sorry. I'm not used to being over here because it would not keep up. And if it keeps freezing, I'm going to have to upload them later. But I can see you being a Valley girl. When is Jen Rappin' Tat? Oh, where is Jen? Most of you could be my children. Puddletown, you're not that. You're not old enough to be my dad. I guess that's why you said most. It's the post-millennials that are the cultural disturbance. Eric Weinstein saw it. People born post 94. I haven't for a long time because I tried streaming to both and it was really started messing up with my everything started freezing and not doing it. So then I just started uploading after and then I got lazy. So I didn't keep up with it. So I thought today I would try it. We'll see how it goes. I remember that. Hey, when MTV came on the air and they played music, very first video they played was Video Killed the Radio Star. Came home from school every day and turned it on and watched it, and you waited. I think they did a countdown or whatever because you were waiting for like your favorite video and song to come on, and if it was a really popular one, then you really had to wait, or at least had to just wait till the top of the hour because it was going to come on again. What generation is Holy Jeans Gen? I don't know. I did walk uphill. I did walk uphill both ways to school and home because I lived on a hill and then there was another hill. So I had to walk up that hill to go to school. And then when I came home from school, I had to walk back up the hill. And I did it in the snow. And I didn't complain. Oh my gosh. Waiting for the radio to play the song and be able to hit record and get the DJ to not talk over the opening of the song because that would be considered dead air. I wonder, somewhere I bet I have a box that has an old cassette that I made. Um, the 1950s were awesome. And I probably should have been born in that decade. Just saying. You'd have your tape recorder queued and ready. Yep, just in case. Yep. And you had to, well, on the TV, if you couldn't, I remember recording some stuff like straight off MTV. So I would hold my cassette recorder up to the speaker. And that was a top-notch recording. Hey, I used to have killer calves, I have to say, because of the hills that I had to climb to get home. And once we could ride our bikes straight up the hill was called, what I have to say on YouTube, of self-deletion hill because it was so steep. But once you got to the point where you could ride your bike straight up that hill, you knew you had done it. You'd made it. Oh, they always talked over the intro of every song. The Bastards. Yes. Yeah, the hills are awesome. It is a big hill. You've seen it. Yep. Peloton, I can't put that one up, but yeah, same thing. You had to learn how to ride your bike down the hill. And we did it with when we could do it with no hands on the whatever, the bike handles, the handlebars. I couldn't think of it. Yes. Yes, they are the best hills. I couldn't ride my bike 2 feet up that hill nowadays because one, I don't even know the last time I rode a bike. And you're a fabulous 2 toy. Thank you. I have never seen Toy's thumbs. Don't know, Flash fan. We can discuss. You got calves from mowing 17.3 million yards. A lot of mixtape songs had my dad somewhere and saying turn that down. Oh, no, we didn't do the jump at the bottom. That's too much. Your Magnavox had direct records and no interference. Look at you being all fancy, Zach. To pull up your pants. To pull up your pants, Jen. I don't know when that one's coming. If you want to, I don't care. You said you couldn't. But we can. I can shut this one down and we can start up another one. I gotta stop playing with my hair like a girl. Yeah. Yeah, get up, Carmen. Get up, get dressed. We'll do it. Zach, you are correct. Serial and live streams turn into nice little chit chat streams. Oh my gosh, parachute pants. The loudest pants on earth next to corduroy. Those things were so loud when everybody walked. Oh my gosh. You could hear people coming in those things a mile away. That's back when like kids were allowed to mow lawns. Unlike today. Like, the mom, was she in Florida? I don't remember. She's in trouble because she let her kid walk somewhere. It's the baggy jeans, skater shoes, and hats. I was not into that. Adair, you started the hole in the knees jeans because you worked. I did have a lemonade stand once with a friend of mine, and we actually had a customer or two. Did you have a lemonade stand, Flash fan? Kids from back then are immune to everything, drinking out of the hose and eating dirt. Playing army does that. Hey, I drank out of the hose. I don't know that I ate dirt, but I played in the dirt a lot. I liked being outside. I did not like being inside. That's why I don't do a lot of it did. Cold hose water tasted great. Now we're like, can't drink out of the hose. You can't do this, you can't do that. When my granddaughter was born, there were so many rules. I'm like, I don't know how any of us survived because all these rules that you're telling me you can't do, I did with my kids. And I'm sure was done with me. And holy smokes, all the things she couldn't eat while she was pregnant. I mean, I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that everybody turned out okay. Yes, you could eat snow, but it made you thirsty. And you don't eat yellow snow. Hey, Ronnie. How's it going? Carmen, I remember eating dirt after you told me to stop. You just looked at me and said, whatever. Probably. I probably exactly said that. That's why when I said, Carmen would just do her streams whenever Carmen does her streams. That's because Carmen does whatever she wants whenever she wants to. Just ask her brother. Of course, he ate snow, and some people would make snow cones out of them at Flash Fan. On here, well, I don't know. Paultown, I have a ton of it outside. You can have it all. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it, Zach. It was 21 here this morning, felt like 9, and we're going to get in sub-zero. So this dumb snow is not going to go anywhere soon. It is, so my front yard, there's no marks in it. No animal, like no deer have walked through it or anything yet. So it's very sparkly and it's all smooth, and it is very pretty right now. And at night, it'll be very sparkly. All right. Okay, Zach. You were cold. And you can tell me what my son told me when he lived in Florida. It's a different kind of cold. And I know it was. The humidity, whatever. All right, guys, I'm going to shut this one down. We will set up a chat stream and see where that goes. You're wearing double socks and 50 degrees. Don't come to Indiana. Our wind chills are going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. Yeah, Mr. 50 degrees. Whatever. One day I will move somewhere warm. Hey, Wow. Just got inside from digging out my driveway. Your 8-year-old is claiming he has frostbite. I'm sure you would not let that happen, Wow. Wow. Hope that's not going to go down Carmen's way. She's probably too far south. You're at 66 degrees. Ah. It is weird. We had so much rain around Christmas time. It was ridiculous. And then it just decided to snow a ridiculous amount. And then they're saying, yes, we might get hit Friday again. Like, oh, yay. Ooh, that is not fun. So you're probably getting what we got yesterday, maybe? I don't know how much you guys are supposed to get out of it, but I don't know. Is 10 inches of snow, like, is that much for New York? We used to Flash Fan, but really our winters here, we generally get one big snow and it's done. So I'm hoping, but since they're already saying it's supposed to snow on Friday again, we'll see. But we don't, like when I grew up in Nebraska, we would get blizzards and tons of snow. It took a ton of snow to get school called off. And here, it doesn't take anything for school to get called off. But we didn't get the ice that they usually get. That did go south of us, fortunately. I think down by Evansville, which is down by Louisville, they are in a state of emergency down there because of all the ice and snow. So I feel bad for them. Yeah, if we get 4 to 6 inches or plus like we did yesterday, it shuts everything down. All the counties are on red travel warning. They're Carmen was telling me one of the restaurants in the county next to me posted that they were open, and the police posted, "We just told everybody to stay off the road." It's like they don't want anybody out. It's crazy. It's like nothing's open. No courts, nothing is open today. It's like I wouldn't try to go anywhere anyway because I don't want to drive in snow. I don't want to wreck my car. But all right, guys, I'm gonna end this. We'll set up a chat stream. So if you guys want to come back and just hang out, and we'll continue just to chat along like we've been doing. And well, yes, we do have snow plows, but um, I don't know what it is, Toy. I really don't. We don't get enough snow often enough anymore, I think. So I don't know. And I live in the country, so they don't come do our roads. And we have a road that once this wind picks up, it can drift shut really fast. So they can't get out here anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I can always, my husband has a tractor, so I'll just put him in that. It's got heat. You can plow it out, plow the whole road out. I don't need to go anywhere though, so I'm good. I am good. Yep. And that's they get here. We were supposed to get a layer of ice over the snow, which we did not get. So I was hoping that was going to keep it from blowing around, but it didn't. It's good to see you too, Kim. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, that's kind of here. Unless we start getting a lot of snow, then they'll like get out and get to school. Yeah, I don't like ice. It's too damaging. All right, guys, I'll see you in just a minute. Give me a few minutes to set up the other stream, and I'll be right back.